Hello and welcome. This is GumbyYoga number 18. Surprised we've gotten this far, but here we are. Let's get started. Let's stretch the legs out in front. Let's inhale, come all the way up, and pull all the way up. Exhale forward, stretch out the hamstrings. So we're doing a couple of interesting things today. Again, let's inhale, come all the way up. Exhale forward. We're going to want to have our hamstrings stretched out, nice and stretched, as most stretched as possible. And again, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale forward. So I'm also doing some experimental things with this video. I'm trying this one without music because the music doesn't work that well. Let's see if I can put the music in afterwards. I got some video editing software from my son for my recent birthday and give it a try. Let's bring the legs into a cross-leg position and let's slide the hands forward. Let's see if we can make these videos a little more professional. And let's slide up. Let's bring the hands behind you and let's press the knees down. Push the hips up, and we're stretching through the whole torso here. And release, bring the hips down. Let's change the legs. And again, slide forward, walking the hands out in front. Sliding, we're opening up the hips here. That's a good one, isn't it? Bring the hands behind you, hands going away from you. Press the knees down, push the hips up. Release, bring the hips down. We're going to unravel the legs, so we're going to bring it to hands and knees. By the way, you're going to want to have a block, aka Kleenex box, or blanket, towel works fine. And you'll want to probably have both of those up at the front of your mat. This would be just a good place to have them so that they're there in case you need them. All right, so from our hands and knees, let's round the back all the way up, exhale out, and bring it back to neutral. Arch the back the other way into cow. Back to neutral. And let's bring your right arm out in front and then the left leg straight out behind you. Stretching as far as you can in both directions. Let's bring everything up a little higher and bring the elbow to the knee. Touch. Stretch it out. Take that right arm, bring it up over behind you. Find the foot and pull it up into the tiger pose. Let's release, bring the hand down to the ground of a knee to the ground, and take that left foot, and we're just going to slide it off to the side. We're going to stretch out the right leg, and bring it into a modified side plank. Let's bring that leg off the ground, and then push off the mat, so your arms are parallel, and slide the hand down. So we're coming down into gate, coming down and down and down, all the way down. Let's release, bring the hand down to the mat, and bring the hips down to the ground. And slide your hands over to that foot. Slide back up, and bring it back to all fours, hands and knees, round the back all the way up, arch the back the other way. Back to neutral, and let's bring the left arm out in front, and right leg goes out behind you. Bring everything up, bring the elbow to the knee, round up the back, stretch it out, and then take the left arm, bring it up over behind you, find the foot, and come up into the tiger pose on this side. Bring it high as you can. Let's bring the knee down, and then take that right foot, slide it off to the side, stretch out your left leg, bring it up into modified side plank, bring the leg off the mat, And then push off of the mat. Arms again are parallel. Coming down into gate, slide the hand down. Top arm comes up, comes over, maybe all the way over. Bring the hand down to the mat and slide the hips down. Bring the arms all the way up and come off towards your foot. Let's release, come back up, come back to all fours, and let's round the back all the way up. Exhale out, arch the back the other way. Back to neutral and tuck the toes and pull it right up into downward facing dog. So push the hips way back. Big stretch for the hamstrings. Come forward into plank. Drop it down and up into up dog. Hook the toes, back into down dog. Let's raise the right leg up and bring the right foot forward. Place it in between your hands. Now, as I said, we're going to get some good stretches for the hamstrings. So we're going to walk our right foot out, coming into Hanumanasana, monkey god. So keep walking and walking and walking. And you can drop that back knee, flip the back foot, and slide that foot off the heel, off to the front as far as you can get it. So this is where, if you want, you can take a blanket to wedge underneath or for a little extra support. And we're just really stretching out the hamstrings. Big stretch. And let's push your weight off to your left hand. Right hand comes in between, and right foot goes back. And tuck the toes, bring it back into downward facing dog. Push way back, really stretch out the backs of the legs. And again, come forward into plank, lower down to chaturanga, up into up dog, flip the toes, back into down dog. And left leg comes up. Left knee comes forward, place the foot in between your hands. And we're gonna drop the hips and we're gonna walk the left foot out. So again, you can drop your right knee, flip the right foot, slide the left foot out, keep going and going and going. And once you're off your mat, depending on what surface you're on, you may be able to slide a little better. And lower and lower. And just getting a good stretch here. And shift your weight to your right hand. Left hand is going to come inside, take the left foot, bring it back to meet the right one. And again, make sure you have either your towel or your Kleenex block out the front. Let's push back into child's pose, stretch it out. And tuck the toes, pull the hips back into downward facing dog. And again, come forward into plank, lower down, sweep it up, flip the toes, back into down dog. Let's raise the right leg up and bring the right foot forward, placing it between your hands. Left foot is going to plant flat in the ground. Coming up into our warrior one, arms reaching up. Taking a couple of breaths here, settling in, back foot flat in the ground, arms reaching up. And then inhale up, exhale into warrior two. So right arm to the front, left arm behind you. Let's reach forward, flip the right palm up, and left hand's just going to slide down the back of the leg. You should feel a nice stretch in your left inner thigh. Inhale up, back into warrior two. Let's reach forward again, straighten out the right leg, slide the hand down, begin to Trikonasana, triangle. So now you should be feeling a nice stretch in your right inner thigh. Shift your weight to your right foot. Right hand's going to reach out, find the mat, block, blanket, whatever works for you. Coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. An option here, maybe your left hand can reach back, find the foot, grab a hold of it, stretch everything out into Ardha Chandra Trikonasana. Let's release both hands, both feet down into standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Walk your hands off to your right foot, back to center, and off to your left, and back to center. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale down, let's hop or walk back into plank. Lower on down, sweep it up. Flip the toes, back into downward facing dog. And left leg reaches straight up. Left knee comes forward, place the foot in between your hands, right foot plants. Coming up, in warrior one. Inhale up, exhale into warrior two. Reach forward, flip the left palm up. Right hand slides down the back of the leg into reverse warrior. Inhale up, back into warrior two. Let's reach forward again, straighten out the left leg, slide the hand down. Coming into triangle, Trikonasana. Shift your weight to your left foot. Left hand is going to reach out, find the mat or the block or the blanket. Bring it into half moon. Options, reach back, find that foot, grab a hold of it, stretch it out. I'm going to puff out the chest, stretch out that quad. Good stretch all the way around here. Maybe even play around with releasing the hand. And let's release down into standing forward fold, stretch it out. Again, walk your hands off to the right, back to center, off to your left, and back to center. Let's pull the arms up, bring the hips down, coming right into chair. So for chair, Uttanasana, you can have your feet and knees either hip distance apart or right close together. Either way, you want everything parallel. You don't want your feet going off to the side. You want your feet and knees parallel. And let's come a little bit lower. A little bit lower. Pull it up onto your tippy toes. And come all the way down. We're coming into toe balance. We're going to open up the knees, stretch up the arms. So from the front, we're going to look kind of like this. Coming lower and lower, open up the knees. Stretch up the arms. Pull up through the spine. Arms come down. And bend the elbows. We're going to come into a little malasana here first, garland pose. So bend the elbows, take each hand, reach it back, find the foot, the heel, actually. Crunch down. Good stretch for the hip flexors. And then plant the hands flat in the ground. Coming into Bakasana, crane. Lift up the hips, shift the weight forward, clamp your knees right around where your triceps are. Forward, maybe one foot off the ground, maybe the other one. And again, you're back at the front of your mat so that you have the option of maybe jumping back into plank. Hold your balance for a little bit. And maybe hop back into plank. Otherwise, walk back or down to chaturanga. Pull it up into up dog. Let's flip the toes and back into downward facing dog. Let's drop down to the knees. Push it back into child's pose. Stretch it out. From child's pose, let's pull it up to all fours, hands and knees. I'm going to come into twisted cat. Let's take your left hand, feed it underneath your right armpit, and bring the head all the way down so your hips are way up behind you. Option here, maybe bring the hands to heart center. Push in so you're getting a bigger twist through the waist. Big stretch. Release. Push it back up into cat. Round the back all the way up. Back to neutral. Back the other way into cow. And we have a cat with cat pose. And let's take your right hand, feed it underneath your right armpit, coming into twisted cat. Head comes down. Hands, heart center. Release, push it back up. Let's push back into child's pose, stretch it out. Getting a good hip flexor stretch here. From child's pose, let's tuck the toes, pull the hips up, back into downward facing dog, push back. And going through our vinyasa, if you'd like a little more challenge here, let's raise the right leg up. So keep the hips square to the mat, so not open, to square. Come forward into plank, down to chaturanga, up into up dog, back into downward facing dog. And bring that right foot forward, plant it between your hips. Left foot is going to plant, coming up into warrior one. For warrior one, we're going to sweep the hands all the way down to the mat and then push the hips back and straighten out that right leg as much as you can, coming into pyramid pose. So you should feel a pretty good stretch right in the back of your right thigh. From here, walk your hands forward about a foot in front of your right big toes. Shift your weight to that right leg and bring the left leg off and into warrior three. Modified warrior three. Sometimes we call it 3-point balance. And then we're going to bring it into full warrior three. So release your hands from the mat. Arms are going to come out in front or off to the sides. In prayer, your choice here. And see if you can take your left hand, reach back, find your left foot, invert your right palm, and bring it up into the dancer pose. Let's release the foot, bring the foot down, bring the arms all the way up, and shift your weight to your left foot. Right foot is going to come up into tree. So it's a tree, down below the knee, just below the knee, or above the knee. Arms reaching up. Left hand reaches down, finds the left hip. Right hand finds the knee or the big toe. Stretch out the leg into big toe hold. Bring the ankle to the opposite knee. Bring the hands into prayer, lower down, coming into standing pigeon. And coming from here into eagle, we're just going to slide that right leg all the way around the left, or as far as you can get it. Left elbow down, right elbow on top. Hands come into prayer, and we come lower, and lower, and lower. And maybe all the way down, so your chest is resting on top of your right thigh. Unravel the hands, unravel the legs, bring it into standing forward fold. Walk your hands off to your right foot, back to center, off to your left, And back to center. Let's inhale up to a flat back, exhale down. Hop or walk back into plank, and pull the hips back into down dog. So again, we're going through our vinyasa. If you'd like more challenge, raise that left leg up. Coming forward into plank or three-legged plank. Down to chaturanga or three-legged chaturanga, up into up dog. And back into down dog. Left foot comes forward, in between your hands. Right foot plants, flat in the ground. Up to warrior one. From here, inhale up, sweep the arms all the way down to the ground. And we're going to straighten out the left leg. Bring your nose as close as you can get it to your left kneecap. Into pyramid pose. Walk your hands about a foot out in front. Shift your weight to your left foot. Right leg comes out behind you into three-point balance or modified warrior three. Push off the mat. Coming into your warrior three. And again, options. Left palm flips up. Right hand reaches back. Gonna find that foot. Pull it up. A little higher. A little higher. Release. Come all the way up. Foot comes down. Shift your weight to your right foot. And your left foot is going to come up into tree. So I'm going to turn and mirror you so you can see full on what it's going to look like. So we're into tree, foot is planted in at the side, inside of your thigh. Arms all the way up. Stretch up through the spine. Focusing. And then your right hand is going to find your right hip. Left hand is going to find your left knee or your big toe. Find the toe, straighten up the back, roll the shoulders back, stretch out the leg. Find that balance point. So you may need to be leaning back just a little bit here. How are we doing? Ankle comes off. To your right knee, hands are going to come down into Namaste, prayer, and coming lower. And again, coming into Garudasana, eagle. So in this case, your right elbow comes down, left elbow on top, palms of the hands meet, and just wrap that leg around the other one. Lower, lower, and lower. Center of gravity comes lower, easier to balance. Maybe find that point where you can kind of click in, get really low. And some nice hip openers here too. And unravel the hands, unravel the feet, bring it into standing forward fold. Inhale up to a flat back, exhale down. So again, from the front of your mat, let's hop or walk back into plank. Lower down to chaturanga, into up dog. Flip the toes, back into down dog. And from here, let's bring it down to your hands and knees. And pull it up. Into a quick camel before we get into our next arm balance. So with your knees about hip distance apart, bring your hands behind you, roll the shoulders back. Just get a good stretch here. And we're going to start to lengthen this whole area in the rib cage. Roll the shoulders back, start to look up, start to arch the back, getting lower and lower. Find the heels, and then push the hips forward. And you'll be feeling some really nice stretches in the front of your thighs. For these, come all the way up, back to all fours. And now's the time to take your blanket. So make sure it's folded up pretty high. We're going to sit on it. And I'm going to face you so it's easy for you to follow. Let's bring the legs out in front. And we're going to go into Uttanasana, Firefly. But before we get into that, we're going to stretch out our hamstrings just a little more. So let's inhale all the way up. Exhale forward. And again, inhale up. Exhale forward. Grab a hold of your feet, pull down, really stretching the backs of the legs. And let's slide up. From here, so again, you're sitting on your blanket or towel, bring your feet in, and you want to have your feet about a foot or so from your blanket and about a foot apart. So from here, we lift up, leave the blanket, come into a froggy squat pose. So this is almost like we're going into Bakasana, only we're not. This one's just a little bit different. So from here, we're going to stretch out the legs. Bring your chest down. So you're right up against your legs. Maybe wrap your arms around. Just get a deeper stretch here again. Release. Bring the hands down to the mat. And then one at a time, take each hand, bring it underneath and to the outside. And when you do that, you want to try and get as much of your arm even up to your shoulder underneath. Other hand underneath. And we're going to start to lower our hips down. And as we do that, we're going to slide your hands right underneath your feet. So as you do that, it's going to start to force your feet out in front. And from there, you can stretch out the legs. Maybe bring your hands flat on the mat. Stretch out the legs. And maybe fall back. Kind of a fun one to give a try. This one you can try at home, just hanging around. Right, so from here, let's remove your blanket. Let's put the legs out front. And let's inhale up, exhale forward. And you're going to want to have your feet right up towards the front of your mat. So when your feet are right up there, again, inhale up, exhale forward. Bring your hands so that they're just above your feet. We're going to pull the belly button into the spine. We're going to round the back, and we're coming down. Lower and lower and lower and lower. And let's bring it all the way down. Place the hands in the mat and bring the legs up. From here, lift your hips up, bring it right up into shoulder stand. Legs are straight up, getting a good stretch. Legs will come all the way over. Release your hands from your hips. Slowly roll down. Bring the back down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time, so that your legs are up. And let's start to lower the legs. Lower, and lower, and lower. And then before they reach the ground, bring the knees into the chest and bring both arms out to both sides. Let's bring both knees off to your right. And back to center. To your left. And back to center. Let's stretch the legs all the way straight up. Let's try bringing both legs off to your right. So if you have any back issues, then do it again with your legs bent. Otherwise, try it with your legs straight for a little more core work. The legs will come all the way over. Inhale all the way up. And all the way off to the other side. And inhale all the way up. Let's bring your arms back by your sides. Start to lower the legs, coming lower and lower and lower and lower. And then finally all the way down, releasing your body into the mat. Coming into our final Shavasana. So we're closing the eyes, releasing the body taking just a few moments to take a few really deep breaths. So let's take a really big inhale. Inhale all the way in and hold it. And then exhale, release it all the way out. And again, inhale, hold it. Release. And one more time, big inhale, hold it. And exhale out. Let's roll off to your side into the fetal position. And very gently push it up into a seated position, legs cross-legged in front. Stretching up through the spine, rolling the shoulders back and around. Very gently rolling the head around, stretching out the neck. Back. Back to center. And coming into one big breath to conclude our practice today. Great big inhale. Inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way down to heart center. Light inside me. Honors that light. Still burning nice and brightly inside you. Namaste. Great rest of the day, you guys. See you soon. And try tuning in to my Zoom classes. They're every Friday at 10:30 Pacific time, and 10:30 morning for about an hour, a little more than that. If you need the link for that, just text me, email me, whatever. Thank you very much. See you next time.